How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another live reaction to My Hero Academia. We are on manga chapter number 254, and the title of this week's chapter is More Than Anyone, You Were a Hero.
You were my brother, Anakin! I loved you!
That title is definitely talking about Shirakumo, and I have been looking forward to this chapter all week long. I am ready to continue with the reveal that we got in last week's chapter, because in last week's chapter, we came to learn the true identity of Kurogiri. It's Oboro Shirakumo, Aizawa and Present Mike's childhood friend.
Nani? Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Oh boy, this is definitely going to be affecting Aizawa and Present Mike, I think, very hard in this chapter. And I just want to learn more about how Shirakumo got turned into Kurogiri and seeing how this will affect Aizawa and Present Mike moving forward. But the other reason as to why I'm really looking forward to this chapter is because I also did go back to read the Aizawa backstory in Vigilantes. Such a good backstory. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved Shirakumo's character. And once I actually got to the tragic ending of Shirakumo, his death, and seeing how it actually affected Aizawa and molded him into the man that we met at the beginning of My Hero Academia, it definitely put a lot of things into perspective. And now I'm just ready to dive into this chapter and continue with this Shirakumo Kurogiri reveal. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's dive right in to chapter 254. Yo, that's right. My Hero Academia is on the cover of Weekly Shonen Jump this week. And we're also getting a second color page. Totally forgot about that. But look at this cover right here.
Behold.
With Deku and Bakugo squaring up against Nines, the new villain for the Heroes Rising movie.
I need it!
Oh, I cannot wait for when this movie gets a US release date. Like, Horikoshi, when's it gonna happen? I need to see this movie. Now let's see what this color spread looks like. Oh! Look at this color page right here.
Headshot! Are you ready?
Look at the detail on everyone's costumes in here. And this is for the popularity poll. So we're getting the top 10 for this color spread. Very nice. The top 10 of the popularity poll assemble. They're fully prepared for the upcoming battle. And you can see numbers on their costumes to indicate where they placed. So who do we got? Of course, Bakugo got number 1. King Explosion Murder, reigning supreme, so he got number 1. Deku's number 2. Todoroki's number 3. Kirishima 4. Ida 5. I guess Shigaraki must be 6. I don't see a 6 on him, but I think he placed 6th. Aizawa 7. Ochiko 8. Toga 9. And Momo 10. So this is the top 10 for the new popularity poll. This looks awesome. Amazing, outstanding color page, Horikoshi. You top yourself every single time with every new spread. But it's time to dive into the actual chapter. So let's get to the first page.
Hello there.
Okay. Here we go. First panel of the first page. We got a shot of Shirakumo. We're diving right into it. Right into some flashback. Oboro Shirakumo died during the internship we were doing together. I bet the three of us together can solve any crisis thrown our way. Chapter 254, More Than Anyone, You Were a Hero. let's all form an agency together. I've said this before, but Shota is really great at seeing the smaller details. It happened just after he said those words. And look at a young present Mike right here. Just oozing coolness.
Looking good. You the man. You the man.
A toothpick in his mouth, repping his classic shades, walking around like he's too cool for school. As long as we're not fighting over the money. He got caught up in a collapsing building. It all happened too abruptly. At one time, we strove to become heroes together.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends that anyone can have. And we'll never, ever, 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 ever leave each other.
Fatality!
Back when they were all still UA students. In other words, Kurogiri is a Nomu. So now we're back at Tartarus and we see everyone standing in front of a tied up, restrained Kurogiri. And Shirakumo's corpse served as a base for it. That possibility is very high. So with that right there, does this mean like Kurogiri is just a walking corpse? A reanimated corpse of Shirakumo was molded and transformed into Kurogiri.
Dead man walking.
Because the personality of Kurogiri, it doesn't really scream Shirakumo right away. It's a totally different personality. This is going to be interesting. We used to be called the Three Stooges of Class A.
Yeah! What? Okay!
That fits this trio perfectly. That really is them. But we see Present Mike just freaking out and screaming, "What the hell am I supposed to make of this? What does it mean?" Yo, we got a shot of All for One right here. UA is a bundle of top-tier quirks. So the logic adds up, doesn't it? It's like inconspicuously scrounging for leftovers from a 5-star restaurant, or so he said. Yo, that's a twisted way of looking at it. Wow. All for One looked at UA as if like a petri dish for him to just grab from, because it brings into it top-tier quirks. So when a student dies, it's like, oh, I'm gonna take that and me and the doctor are gonna experiment with it. To All for One, it's just like the perfect harvesting ground for top-tier quirks.
What a delightful combination. Maybe a few more enhancers next time.
Most likely, they swapped out his body for another during the cremation process, and then transformed him into one of their sickening playthings, a Nomu. Searching for a meaning in that would be fruitless, DJ. All that's left inside him is evil. I can't wrap my head around this. And Present Mike just like hearing all this, he just cannot accept it. And then we see Tsukauchi. We knocked him out because he was trying to use his quirk. Yeah, you don't want him using his quirk. He'd escape very easily. Why did you call us here? If you're expecting some miracle to happen because of our strong bonds, I'd say you've watched one too many movies.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
I like the fact that that was brought up. That is very meta. The power of friendship, the power of Nakama. It's not going to save us in this situation. Aizawa's like, that's not going to work right now, Gran Torino. And you can see Gran Torino just tugging at Aizawa. With a strong enough basis, even a miracle becomes possible.
Fight me.
Yo, why are we seeing high-end Nomu Hood right now? According to the reports, the Nomu Endeavor defeated in Kyushu had a distinct personality. It had an attachment to, or an obsession with, fighting strong adversaries. Is this who he was before he was transformed? I mean, they got the same expression on their face. This has to be Hood pre-Nomu experiments. And from the burnt corpse's DNA test results, we learned that its original body was from a thug who made his living in underground cage fighting.
Booyah! You pal! Who else wants
That explains why Hood was just so obsessed with fighting strong opponents. That personality trait carried over from when he was once human. Wait a minute. So is that what Gran Torino and Tsukauchi are hoping to happen here? That Shirakumo's personality could shine through in Kurogiri, to have Aizawa and Present Mic trigger something in him to bring that personality out.
You a genius.
That's smart if that's what they're doing. So you're saying it retained its personality from when he was human. But I'm sorry to say that I already battled Kurogiri at UA once, and not only did he speak differently, but he also didn't react in the slightest when he saw me. I mean, that's true. He didn't really go after Aizawa during USJ, but he did know when to escape and go over to the children. He knew that when Aizawa closed his eyes, his eraser power deactivated, and it allowed him to transport over to the kids.
There is no escape for you.
Damn. I blinked and the guy who seems like the most trouble got away.
Coincidence? I think not!
They may have experimented on him so that his altered or perhaps erased memories have an effect on him that forces him to carry out orders. I'll say it once more. If we can get him to talk, it will help tremendously with our investigation. Present Mic, Eraserhead, we want you to bring back Oboro Shirakumo's lingering attachment.
Called it.
Exactly. That makes so much sense. They want to trigger Shirakumo within Kurogiri, and what better way than to bring back childhood friends? Okay, and I love this shot right here. Just having Kurogiri on one side, Present Mic and Eraserhead on the other, just separated by a thick layer of glass. Really does remind me of All For One and All Might when they had their conversation. So you're just asking us to take a nice stroll down memory lane, is that it? Please. What about his family? If you two are unsuccessful, then, and we see Aizawa just closing his eyes.
Hyakugan!
And he's activating his quirk. Hair standing up, bloodshot eyes.
It gives me serious dry eye.
I'll be damned if I let his family hear this sickening story. Look! So we just see Aizawa staring at Kurogiri. But the mist isn't going away.
You smart.
Which means that his body is just made of mist. That's not something that Eraserhead can just erase with his powers.
What we call a quirk is an extraordinary addition to an ordinary human body. Those additions are collectively referred to as quirk genes. I can shield those genes and temporarily block their expression, but I don't actually damage them.
He's awake, so Kurogiri's waking up. You may begin. He's yawning, just waking up. Oh, a rare visitor indeed. I haven't seen you since the UA attack, so he at least remembers Aizawa. Even with Eraser looking at him, the fog isn't dissipating. Exactly. It's not working on him.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
In other words, his actual body is now made up of that stuff. And Present Mic's just pointing and yelling, your little theory has got to be off the mark. This guy's got absolutely nothing in common with Shirakumo. And he got cut off there a little bit. And we have Kurogiri speaking now. Tell me, how is Tomura Shigaraki? Is he well? He hasn't been captured, has he? As if we'd tell you. I see. What a pity. Are you worried about Shigaraki? But of course, looking after him is my mission. He is the babysitter of Shigaraki, that is for sure. And we see Present Mic just pounding on the glass. Well, sucks to be you then. I can't think of a shittier mission than looking after that emo punk ass.
Tomura Shigaraki.
Fuck you, you punk ass bitch!
About to call him a punk ass bitch. Oh, Present Mic. Oh, but Present Mic stopped himself, and now he's looking back over at Aizawa. And then Kurogiri says, I don't resent my mission at all. I just can't leave him alone. It's my nature.
Oh, no.
Oh. This is really affecting Aizawa. You just see him scratching his nose and then just trying to compose himself.
Heroes aren't supposed to cry.
I don't know. I figure that heroes cry when they need to, don't they?
Aizawa does not want this to be true. He does not want the man standing before him to be his deceased friend. I feel for Aizawa so much here. Damn. Even when I walked straight by a stray kitten without picking it up, you were the kind of guy who would take it without a second thought. That is exactly what happened in Vigilantes. Aizawa placed an umbrella down for the kitten, but he didn't take it with him. But Shirakumo, coming up right behind him, took the umbrella and the kitten, and they took care of little Sushi. Hang in there. Is that referencing the cat poster, like, hang in there, everything's gonna be okay? Yo, that's funny. And you just see Kurogiri just, like, looking to the side. I'm not sure where you're going with this. Why did you come here today? And then the people in the booth, no reaction. I always hesitated and left things half done when it really mattered. We got more flashback panels. So you're Shota Aizawa. I'm Shirakumo. Nice to meet you, Shota. Shota, the dining hall's gonna fill up. Again, I love the trio. They were just such good friends. And I could just picture them running to the cafeteria to grab a table before it starts to fill up. Oh my god. But in spite of that, we got more. Shirakumo holding his goggles. I'll lend you my goggles. That way, you'll be able to close in on bad guys while protecting your eyes. Now we match. Oh my god. I'm so glad I read Vigilantes. It is just enhancing all of this so much right here. The friendship between these two. Like, now I understand, like, how hard this is affecting Aizawa. You always pulled me along. And Kurogiri's just sitting there. I'm sorry, but you seem to have mistaken this place for a confession booth or something. You always lit up a room and kept looking ahead, without worrying about the consequences. And we got a flashback to the scene of the tragic accident. Even though when you die, there's no second chances. Yamada and me, we're teachers now, and I'm always strict with my students. I did hear that he's got a long list of expulsions to his name. On paper he does.
I read your file. Last year, you expelled an entire class of freshman students.
And it looks like we're going over to Class 2A. We rarely get to see second years. It's usually just first years and third years. So Class 2A. Hey, did you see? Mr. Eraser walked out with a real mean look on his face. So, same as usual then. No, it was even worse than usual. It was like when he expelled us.
Said, wait a minute.
So not as bad as when it happened to us then.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. If Aizawa expelled them, how were they still in UA? Expelled on paper, but not for real? That still gives me nightmares. I seriously thought my life was over. But we've all grown a lot thanks to his strict teaching, haven't we? Oh, come on. You can't go and expel people just to warn them. Because of E Crazyhead, our permanent records are scarred forever. You want the authority to expel and re-enroll your students? Yes. So that's what Aizawa's been doing. He would expel his students on paper, but he would then re-enroll them. Interesting. Yes, self-sacrifice is not the same as throwing one's life away. I would like all these misinformed young men and women to experience what death is like, if only once. That should allow them to strive to reach even greater heights.
He doesn't have zero potential, I admit. If that were the case, I would have sent him straight home after class without hesitation. It's cruel to let a kid keep dreaming of something that will never come true.
which that ties in with Deku during the quirk assessment test. When Aizawa was basically telling him, you're not cut out for this.
You're not ready. You don't have control over your power. Were you planning to break your bones again? Counting on someone else to save your useless body?
No, that's not what I was trying to do!
No matter what your intentions are, you would be nothing more than a liability in battle.
He was basically trying to teach him the difference between self-sacrifice and throwing one's life away, because Deku would have been a hindrance with the way he was able to control One For All at that time. So based on what Aizawa was able to see, he was like, I'm not going to let this kid kill himself if he can't control his quirk. I'm just going to snuff out that dream right here, right now. And that's all because of what happened with Shirakumo. That adds just another layer to the quirk assessment test and what Aizawa was doing. It all goes back to what happened to Shirakumo. Well, our selling point at UA is our flexible learning culture. So, yes, and that was also stated by Aizawa at the beginning of the quirk assessment test. But we see Aizawa just like going down. It looks like he's ripping off or like taking off his goggles. I want people like you to become heroes who can pull other people along. I want you to live long, fulfilling lives. So that is why. Shirakumo, and he's holding out the goggles. He is trying to spark something in Kurogiri. Like, look what I still have. It's a memento I carry from you. Shirakumo, if you're still in there somewhere. And the guy in the booth is noticing something about Kurogiri. Yo.
It's a terrible day for rain.
What do you mean? It's not raining.
Yes, it is.
Oh, so it is.
Aizawa is crying right here. Then let's become heroes, the three of us, together. This is a side of Aizawa we rarely, if ever, get to see. We've never seen him cry before. And I don't think that is due to the fact that he has not blinked once, because he still has his quirk activated.
It gives me serious dry eye.
He is legit crying for his friend, for Shirakumo. He's like he stated before, it's like, this isn't like the movies, like, the power of friendship isn't going to help out here, but Aizawa's like, fuck that. I am reaching out for my friend right now. It's like, look at the goggles I have. I still remember you. I keep this on me at all times. Shirakumo, if you are in there, let's become heroes together, the three of us. Let's start our agency. Oh, Aizawa. His long-lost friend right before his eyes. Will Aizawa's voice reach him? That is the end of chapter 254. Yo. I am so glad I read Vigilantes and read that backstory. This enhanced this chapter significantly. And I have a feeling like Horikoshi will be diving more and more into the Aizawa and Shirakumo relationship and more of the backstory. But I would definitely say, if you guys have not read the Aizawa backstory in Vigilantes, definitely go read it. Because you'll just fall in love with Shirakumo. Damn. This is like an emotional chapter right here. Seeing two friends having to come to terms with seeing their friend being twisted and just being put on the side of evil right in front of them, and having to reach out and trying to pull their friend out of the darkness, literally out of the dark mist, trying to get that spark that is Shirakumo out of Kurogiri. Damn. Very nice. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 254 of My Hero Academia. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter. What do you guys think of the emotion that this chapter brought with Aizawa, just slowly seeing him coming to the realization that the man, Kurogiri, standing in front of him might actually be Shirakumo, to where at the end of the chapter, he is literally breaking down, crying, holding his goggles out, trying to bring Shirakumo out of the persona that is Kurogiri. And do you think we might see a hint or glimmer of Shirakumo in next chapter coming out of Kurogiri? But also, for everyone that has read the backstory in Vigilantes, how much did that backstory enhance this chapter for you guys? I know it did for me, and I cannot wait to see where Horikoshi is going next with this revelation. So leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon. That way you guys can be alerted for every new MHA reaction that pops up on the channel. But if you guys want to talk about other things or get alerts of the channel outside of YouTube, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. But that's going to do it from here, guys. So until next week, when we have chapter 255 of My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.